Hi, third graders. So we are back here. Hi, third graders. We're back working on our world leader reports, and we're supposed to be working on adult life. However, if you didn't finish your childhood, keep working on that and then move on to adult life. Like I said, we're going to keep working on it a little bit every week. So it is best that you keep working as directed, otherwise, you might fall behind. So last time we talked about this, we did our childhood. I typed up some notes. And here I have our adult life, and I left off on this page. So, and I think I'll just reread both of these. While Eleanor was in England, her uncle Theodore Roosevelt became the President of the United States. He was a strong and popular leader. Eleanor returned to New York in 1902. She was almost 18 years old. Eleanor's grandmother sent her from one fancy party to the next. Eleanor usually hated those parties, but she did have a good time when she talked with one of her distant cousins, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Now, I'm going to keep that in mind, and I know what's happening because I know who this person is, but sometimes you might have to go back and reread notes or your text because you might learn more about your person or it might be relevant to them in the future. Eleanor joined the Junior League and began a lifelong devotion to helping the poor. While working for the Junior League, Eleanor taught children to dance and exercise in the Rivington Street Settlement House. Now that is important to her adult life because that is part of her whole mission was helping other people. So I'm going to go under my notes here, and like I said, you might need to write notes down on a piece of paper and then type them onto the Google Slides. Or if you can look at your book on one side and your Google slide on the other side, like I am. So I'm going to type that. So she joined the Junior League and um, started helping or volunteering. Now it's okay that I have typos because I'm gonna, after I've done typing and I can go back and I can fix it. And actually, I would recommend that if you type it and you have a typo and it has a red line, to go figure out why is that spelled wrong and how do I fix it? And I can fix it by on right clicking, and sometimes it'll pop up what I mean. Otherwise, you might have to ask your mom or dad how to fix it. So let's keep reading. Eleanor took her cousin Franklin to the settlement house. Franklin took her to college football games at his school. They fell in love. And this is why I told you this was important, because now I know when they met and that they fall in love. So I'm wondering, is she going to marry him? I don't know. Let's find out. Ooh, and that picture is giving me a good clue that she's going to marry him. On March 17, 1905, Eleanor and Franklin were married. At the wedding, guests paid little attention to the bride and groom. They were more interested in Eleanor's uncle, President Theodore Roosevelt. Probably because he's the president and they want to give him some attention. So I'm going to just write on here that, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt is also known as FDR. So for my own, I'm going to use short notes because that's less for me to type. FDR and Eleanor got married on March 17th, 1905. And now I'm going to go back a few pages for when they first met because I think I might want to include that. So Eleanor and her distant FDR started. Okay, and I went back and I added that in because it is important to her story and how she got married and part of her adult life. So let's keep reading. They got married. I read that. Eleanor and Franklin had 6 children, 1 daughter and 5 sons. One son died when he was still an infant. Eleanor had servants and nurses to help her. At times, the children were afraid of the strict nurses, and so was Eleanor. Franklin's mother, Sarah, often told Franklin and Eleanor what to do. Sarah chose their first house and furniture. During the early years of her marriage, Eleanor didn't complain, but later she refused to be bossed around. And I'm going to just put in here, they had 6 children. Noticing that I'm not writing everything down that I read. I'm just picking out the most important things. Franklin admired Eleanor's uncle Theodore and wanted to be just like him. Eleanor helped Franklin campaign for public office. That's like being the mayor, the governor, even somebody who's a city commissioner on the school board. In 1921, Franklin was stricken with polio. That's a bad disease, and that's why he's in a wheelchair. He couldn't walk after that. When Franklin first became sick, Eleanor was his nurse. Later, when she went to political meetings and traveled for him, she brought back detailed reports on what she heard and saw. So I'm also going to put that in here. FDR wanted to be like Teddy Roosevelt and went into public. He became sick with polio. So Eleanor went to meetings for him. Now, this is important because later we're going to find out that she also is very active in things like helping the poor, and this helps her get her start in that activism. I'm going to keep reading here. Now, I'm getting a lot of good information. Now, I'm having a hard time knowing when I should cut off her adult life and when I should cut off why she's famous. So I'm going to just read a couple more pages and then I might think, ooh, well, what is she most famous for? Well, she's most famous for actually being the wife of a president and helping other people. So I think I'm going to read a little bit more to see if I find that kind of cut off ending for her being famous. So Franklin was an elected governor in New York in 1928 and in 1930, and president of the United States in 1932. He was reelected president in 1936, 1940, and 1944. He was actually the only president to serve 4 terms. Little tricky side note. When Franklin became president, Eleanor became the first lady. And I think that's good part for me to kind of switch and do her achievements or her honors and awards. So, and actually, I'm just kind of looking here, and I think one of the challenges here was taking care of her husband who had polio. So, I'm going to just write that down here. Okay, and I'm going to go back and do achievements here. Tell why your person is most famous. So I don't know the exact details while she's the first lady, but right here it says that she was first lady for 16 years. So FDR, her husband, became president for 4 terms. So Eleanor was a first lady for 16 years because his president serves for 4 years. And so 4 years times 4 terms is 16 years. All right, now I'm going to stop here because I've kind of figured out her adult life and a few other random notes that you are supposed to be working on right now. So I hope that helps you in kind of picking and choosing some of the information that you need. Now, of course, your world leader is totally different than my world leader. So you will just have to do your best, and I will continue to look through your slideshows and write down some comments for you. All right, good luck.